Welcome everybody. It's really my job here to introduce Emily, who I'm sure as all of you know is one of Andy's 4 children. Emily is really a force in our business on her own right. She's currently the host, the executive editor, and the creator of a wonderful broadcast called Greater Boston with WGBH. Greater Boston provides in-depth and fresh analysis of local news, politics, and life. It is also infused with Emily's wit and her very solid journalism. Emily is also the host of a weekly program aptly named Beat the Press, which I'm sure, as the title indicates, is a lively discussion of what we in the media cover and why we cover it and why we think we cover what we do. Emily has won numerous awards for her work on these broadcasts, including the National Press Club, several New England Emmys, the AP's award for Best News Talk Show, and on and on. Before she went to WGBH, Emily was director of political coverage at Fox News. She was executive producer of World News Tonight with Peter Jennings, where she and I coincidentally worked together, and news director before that at WCBB, also in Boston. Those of us who know and have worked with Emily know that she has many of Andy Rooney's best qualities. She is direct, incisive, and every now and then, and when necessary, irreverent. Thank you. Emily?
Not many people in this world are as lucky as I've been. When I was in high school, I had an English teacher who told me I was a good writer, so I set out to become a writer myself. I've made my living as a writer for 70 years now. Been pretty good.
Time once again for a few minutes with Andy Rooney.
I don't like to complain all the time, but that's what I do for a living, and I'm lucky because there's so much to complain about.
Public toilets,
Car mufflers,
faucets,
fences, cookbooks, a doorknob, Christmas candle, gloves, cardboard, cats. There aren't too many original thoughts in the world. A writer's job is to tell the truth.
I think it's safe to say the idea that a woman's place is in the home is long gone. Women aren't in the kitchen doing the dishes anymore. They're out front mowing the lawn. There are as many different kinds of mowers as there are different kinds of women. Some you have to push, others you can ride, and some mowers, some women are self-propelled.
Yeah, I've been up and up limb.
Why should one part of something always give out before the rest of it does? Why would something called a Fig Newton be popular for so long? Why do we keep calling these little closets medicine cabinets when there's no medicine in them? Why should I bother to shave every day? I don't know what to do. I try to look nice. I comb my hair. I tie my tie. I put on a jacket. But I draw the line when it comes to trimming my eyebrows. You work with what you got. One of the worst things about this job is how nice people are to me and how rotten I am to them. For example, they send me things. I don't thank them usually. If I want something, I buy it. So I get a lot of things I either have or don't want. Here's a full-size cutout of former President Bush. Here's beloved former president of CBS, Larry Tisch. This is not Larry, this is Larry here. This is a treasure. It's my Army Eisenhower jacket. It has the correspondence patch on it. Tomorrow's Memorial Day, the day we have set aside to honor by remembering all the Americans who have died fighting for the thing we like most about our America, the freedom we have to live as we please. Because I was in the Army during World War II, I have more to remember on Memorial Day than most of you. I had good friends who were killed. Charlie Wood wrote poetry in high school. He was killed when his Piper Cub was shot down while he was flying as a spotter for the artillery. Bob O'Connor went down in flames in his B-17. Obie Spiegelman and I were best friends and co-captains of our high school football team. Obie was killed on the deck of the Saratoga when a bomb that hadn't dropped exploded as he landed. There have been a lot of memorable days in our country's history. September 11th, 2001 is one of those. Americans are puzzled over why so many people in the world hate us. They do hate us, though, and we're trying to protect ourselves with more weapons. Might be better if we figured out how to behave as a nation in a way that wouldn't make so many people in the world want to kill us. The fact that the citizens of this country, 80% of whom are white, freely chose to elect a black man as their leader simply because they thought he was the best choice makes me think that we have every right to be proud of ourselves. We've come a long way, a good way. Some people have complained that recently I've been more serious than amusing. Tonight, I'm determined to correct that and be funny. Wait a minute. If you don't mind, I have something I want to say in regard to United States foreign policy tonight. Policy schmolicy, who cares? Let's have a few laughs tonight. Get me Andy Rooney. I'd like to be able to sing like Sinatra.
That face, that face, that wonderful face, it shines, it glows all over the place. And how
I've done a lot of complaining here, but of all the things I've complained about, I can't complain about my life. And all this time, I've been paid to say what is on my mind on television. You don't get any luckier in life than that.
we end as we began. Andy?
It wouldn't hurt if we could improve certain parts of what we're like and how we behave. Maybe the drug companies could come up with a pill that would cure us of the evil in our nature. Things like hate, jealousy, dishonesty, selfishness. And one more thing, but this may be asking too much. I wish there was something we could all take that cure us of stupidity.
It's so great to see so many of my old colleagues here from my days as a news director. Did I hire you, Mark? Just want to get credit where credit is due. I'd like to thank the RTDNF and RTDNF, and I'm not doing that new digital thing yet because I didn't even know they had changed their name yet. I'd also like to thank CBS for everything they did for my dad for the past 50 years, where he worked there, and for putting the video together tonight. You know, I think it won't surprise you, my dad was really not much on awards. He didn't like the idea of giving or receiving a plaque or a piece of metal for something that you held so dear, that he thought was so important to do. He used to tease his good friend Walter Cronkite unmercifully since he retired, 30 years ago, for accepting any honor and award that any organization would hand out. Jesus, why are you doing that? When we were recently clearing our house in Connecticut a few weeks ago, which was very difficult, we realized just how unimportant awards were to my dad. We all knew that he had received the Bronze Star in World War II for something that we really didn't know very much about. We had seen a piece of paper honoring him, but we'd never actually seen the actual medal. So when we were cleaning out the house, he kept everything. Every script he ever wrote for Gary Moore, Arthur Godfrey, every letter any one of us ever sent home from high school or college, or grad school, or from camp, it was all there. We looked high and low for that bronze medal. You probably all saw the headlines a few weeks ago. California man gets Andy Rooney's typewriter. Well, tell that to Jeff Baker, who thinks he has Andy Rooney's typewriter, and my daughter, and my nephew, and me, and Scott Pelley, who has asked for one of Andy Rooney's typewriters. And Scott, if you're out there listening tonight, you're going to get one, because he had 18. With Eddie Underwood's, stuffed in the garage, under his desks. So that California man is very lucky, but that was a ruse. Back to that bronze medal. We kept searching the house. And I don't mind telling you that there was something else we were looking for in the house that night, or those days. We knew that my dad, back in the day, had bought gold bars. We found a piece of paper saying he had bought gold bars, which I don't mind telling you, which would be worth about $1.4 million to say. So we were kind of curious where those gold bars were. In fact, I heard recently from my accountant, and this may come as a surprise to some of my family, that my dad had put some of those gold bars in the freezer. And one day my mother came along and realized that that fish had been in the freezer a long time. And she threw out the fish. So Dad comes home and says, I don't know why you looked in the freezer that night. He says, well, where's the... She says, come on. They went to the dump together and found those gold bars. We never found the Bronze Star. And my brother suddenly had an epiphany, and he said, you know why he never got the Bronze Star? He never went to get it. Because, as I'm sure it is in this day, you probably know more about it than I do, Martha, you have to go and pick it up someplace from the army or some kind of an office. And it just didn't mean that much to him. He never bothered. He never talked about the war. He never really talked about it in any way other than the way he told the stories. And I don't think I have to recount his stories about World War II or his commitment to First Amendment, his idea being that if we all knew the truth about anything, everything, and everyone in the world, we would all be better off. So we never found that Bronze Star. And just so you all know, we never found gold bars either. But that award didn't mean that much to him. And not to offend any of you here, but this way he wouldn't have either. But it does to all of us. And so on behalf of my entire family, who is here tonight, my twin sister Martha, and her husband Leo, and Justin Fischel, and Gail Fischel, and Ben Fischel, and my daughter Alexis Perkins, and Andrew Brady, thank you so much. We so appreciate it.